It's not rocket science, guys. You can do this. Find a time to do this. It's $1,000 an hour activity.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Listen, all of us, people by people. Like, I don't care. Like, if you've got a friend who you trust, they could deliver the same service as someone else who charges half the price, but you trust that person is going to deliver, that's enough for you to go with that person. Like, you buy into people, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about building relationships. That's why you don't act weird in Starbucks, like going, I want to reach out. Like, you are building human connection and relationships here. Like, these are people. They might not buy tomorrow. They might not buy next year or the year after that. You know, what's the average? Everyone moves house every 5 to 7 years. They might buy in 5 years. They might have just moved. But listen, that's what it's about. 3 times a year, 5 years, you've reached out to them 15 times, and you collect, a 5 to 15, 25 grand commission check, and you get their good grace. So like you said, hey, my friend Charlie, you treated me really well. My friend Charlie's looking to move. Like, could you start back? Of course I can. Like, I would love to help Charlie move, right? And this is why, like, a lot of these tactics are obviously, a lot of people know that a lot of the, the bigger brokers are not, people who've done this for a long time. They've built these databases now, and they just don't do any lead.
Oh, yeah.
They literally just sit on their database because it's thousands of people. So there is constant, churn in their market for people moving house. By the time they make it through the database, it's 5 years, and that person who they first sold is looking to now move. And this scales, guys. Like, what we're saying here is, Gus got his 30 in his first year. Like, I'm sure there's people on this who just started. Some who might got more of this, but it's damn impressive to do 30 transactions in your first year for nothing, right? And, this is the path forward, and you can grow it this way. Like, okay, it might not be the world's fastest way, that you can go down some paid routes. There's obviously other avenues now with social media, which are free, which you just didn't have access to back then, or they weren't a big thing. Like, dropping people DMs on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and Twitter. This just wasn't a thing. These are now things. And back then it was just cold calling. We all lived in that world where it's like, just pick up the phone. But, and now there's just so many more avenues to connect with people. Meet them where they're at. Don't force them on the phone if they don't want to. Some people want to text. 100%. Some people will be better on Facebook DM.
I would tell my team, this is again 2013, right? So I told them it didn't count if you wanted to DM on Facebook. No, you had to pick up the phone and call. Well, 8 years later, right? The world has changed. So right now, if I were doing this right now, I would count those DMs as reaching out to them. I would try to find a way to have a two-way conversation with the person, but you could definitely reach out to them via text. I didn't let them do texting either. I was kind of a little bit, old school. No texting and no DMing. I would absolutely do texting and DMing. Now the world has changed. It's a whole different ballgame. Slide into those Instagram DMs, Facebook DM, whatever gets people's attention to start a conversation off and hopefully continue it over the phone, over the VoIP, over Messenger, whatever it is. That would be the best. But if the person wants to have right now, 2021, if they want to have the whole conversation over DM, I would do it right now. I would absolutely. The recommendation is the same.
What about like voice notes?
Voice notes,
right?
100%.
What about voice notes?
Voice notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
What about quick little videos? Hey, how are you? I'm on the walk, just being personal. Newsflash, because of the recent pandemic, people want to talk to you. People will pick up the phone too. Or if you just do that little, video or voice note, they will text you back. They will voice you back. It's surprising to see how many people will do that because naturally we're social and, social butterflies. Yeah. We need that human connection because we've been locked up, locked down for so long. Now is the time to really leverage this. So screw all the excuses of I'm not technologically advanced. You don't need to be. No. You just need to pick up your phone, press a button, and just press send and not be thinking of what the person is going to think of you. Just,
100%.
I guarantee
100%.
you, they're going to appreciate it.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's imperfect action, right? Like I'm telling you now, I was actually going to mention that, Peter, so you beat me to it. If you get sent a voice note or a video message, I guarantee you look at it because curiosity will just overwhelm you.
That's so true. That is so true.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's just totally true. Random people send you a voice note, you just want to listen to it. It's just like, you know, you just can't get away from it. And listen, like, you know, we said, these are things you just do. Be organic. You're out on a walk with your dog. Take a video. Hey, Gus, hope you had a great, you know, new year. I was actually just thinking about you, wondering, you know, if you and your family are doing great. You know, we had a fantastic time and I just wanted to check in. Let me know how you're doing. That's it. Done. Send it off.
You know what I've recently started doing? Sending out those voice notes or videos for people's birthday, because Facebook obviously wants you to know when your friends' birthdays are.
That's a good one.
And instead of just commenting on their wall, slide into their DMs, send them a personal note, be a little bit different. I guarantee you that you'll get a response. And if you don't, you better get that person off your friends list, because obviously they don't want to talk to you.
Absolutely. That's a great suggestion. All these things help. All of these things help. There are other ways. The methodology is the same. The how has changed a little bit. Use all of those tools at your disposal to make that connection. Oh, before I forget, I want to talk a little bit about that script of how you can talk to a random stranger and get them into your database. Like if you're standing in a line at Starbucks or at a networking event, it's the same approach as if you're connecting with your database. Hey there, Andrew, we're talking, right? And the way, if you're in a networking event, if you want someone to ask you what you do, you ask them. People typically kind of get that cue. Andrew, what do you do? Oh, that's really interesting. Gus, what do you do? Oh, I'm in real estate, this and that. And then if you get some rapport, they seem like a good connection. Hey, I'd love to invite you to my next event, right? I'd love to add you to my database and let you know anytime I'm doing my next marketing event, my next class. What's the best way to reach you? Shut up and let them answer. Yeah, what's your email? What's your phone? What's the best way to reach you? Just ask them what it is. Great, take it down. I will send you an invite to that next event. I want you there. Great. It's not, can I have your phone number to call you a bunch of times? It's not, can I have your email to spam you all year? It's, can I provide this thing of value? Do you have a way for me to reach you? Because I want to give you this $100 bill. What's the best way for me to reach you? That gets a better response, guys. That's just a given, right? 100%. And it changes the conversation. It's much less cringe than, can I get your email and send you a bunch of emails? Can I get your phone number to call you a bunch of times, right? Because I want you to give me some business. I'm kind of desperate here. No, guys, right? It's value first. And that value first kind of mentality kind of flip the switch. It applies to everything, but especially when you're trying to talk to someone and get their information. They'll give you, we've demonstrated, it's Facebook, have demonstrated people who are willing to give everything for value. They will give you their contact information, their physical location, their everything, because they perceive that they're getting something in return, and they'll do it and they'll be happy about it. They'll do it happily.
100%. Yeah. Lead with value. And, you know, the last thing I want to say on that before I'm sure you drop your fourth bomb here, Gus, is when you say you're going to do something, follow through, because you don't realize that people actually subconsciously are hyper aware if you're a man or a woman of your word. So if you say, hey, I'm going to invite you to this next event, or hey, we're holding this event, I'm going to message you to come, and you don't message them, subconsciously you're communicating that they don't really matter. Yeah. And that's an issue.
Yeah, if you want to guarantee that they don't take that next call, leave them hanging, right? If you just show them that they're not important to you. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I'm predicating that everyone listening to this is a person of their word. They're going to follow through. They're going to do it. It's not rocket science, guys. You can do this. Find a time to do this. It's $1,000 an hour activity. $1,000 an hour activity. Because I literally measured this, guys. And not $1,000 an hour for the whole year. Literally for the next 90 days. It's $1,000 an hour activity for short-term gain. I mean, think of it that way. It's worth doing it. It's worth doing it right and following up with those folks, right? A lead from your database is, how many Facebook leads is that worth? You guys are in the industry. You guys know this, right? How much is it worth to have someone that knows, likes, and trusts you to recommend someone that knows, likes, and trusts them to work with you. How much is that worth? When I would get those leads from this exercise, I would close them at an 80, 90% rate. Not to appointment, to closed transaction, 80, 90% conversion rate. Is there any other lead source that is even going to get remotely close to that? No, right? I mean, because it's coming from a personal recommendation. It's coming from someone that knows, likes, and trusts you. Nothing compares to that. That is like, there's nothing like that, right? These kind of leads, this kind of exercise helps you build the practice of scripts, of service, of fulfilling the clients, doing it so that when you start adding unmet leads to your business, whether that's online lead generation, cold calling, prospecting, you've got that foundation. You know how to do the service well, right? You know how to make those calls and follow up. Those skills are going to be 10 times more important with people that don't know, like, and trust you. They don't. And that's a whole other ballgame. That's the next podcast, right? I'll talk about that later. But, right now we're talking about the people that know, like, and trust you and how important it is to work those guys. And that brings me to step number 4. And you've gone through step number 1, build a database. Number 2, you got to feed it. Number 3, you got to find a way to effectively communicate with it. Number 4 is kind of like, if you've done those 3, then you're going to notice a few things when you do this. When you do this the very first time, you're going to have some people that are going to talk to you. Hey, Gus, thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that. Yeah, I don't really know anyone, but I'll let you know. Bye. That's a typical response. That's normal, guys. That's normal. I wouldn't even get discouraged by that. You're going to find maybe 3 people, maybe 10 people, maybe 1 person that is going to be overjoyed that you called them. There's going to be a person to go, Gus, man, this is amazing. Wow. Wait, hold on. We got to strategize. How am I going to send you referrals? Let me think. And they're gonna be like enthusiastic about it, right? Because they like you, because they're just enthusiastic. They're natural networkers, they're natural connectors. Who the hell knows why? But you're gonna find these people, and I promise you that this is gonna happen. Again, at least 100 people. You got to call a lot of people to get this. But you're gonna get a handful of those folks. Those are gonna be your advocates. Those are gonna be your ambassadors. Those 2, 3, 4, 5 people are going to be responsible for a disproportionate number of your referrals and recommendations, guys. So step number 4 is classify your database. Classify your database, right? You're going to have a handful of people, 5 to 10, are going to be your A database, your advocates. So those people, okay, I'm going to put a little bit more attention to them than once every 3-4 months. I'm actually going to check in with them regularly. I'm going to take them out to coffee. I'm going to take them out to lunch. I'm going to do something special. And sometimes they just want to talk to you, right? A lot of folks were like housewives, right? And they were just glad to talk to somebody while their kids were streaming in the background, having like a little bit of adult time. And they would natural networkers, some of them, natural networkers. Wives talk to the wives, moms talk to other moms. That was my experience. And I would connect with a couple of moms and they would love helping me out because they wanted to help. They were helpful people, right? No one would ever ask them for help. No one would ask them to help building their business. Hey, Mrs. Mom, can you help me build my business? Absolutely, bro. I'm a pro at this. I talk to people all damn day, and I will send you, 10 referrals, right? I mean, you're going to find those folks. Those are your A people, A database, right? Then you're going to have your B, which are people that occasionally send you referrals. They've sent you something. Those are great. And then you're going to have the majority of them, which is C, which is you're going to communicate with them 3 to 4 times a year. That's fine. But your A's and B's, people that have ever sent you a referral and people that regularly send you referrals, those you want to take special care of, right? But again, step number 4 only matters if you execute 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, don't even get to it, right? It only matters there, and you're gonna see it. It's natural, but be on the lookout for that because that happens, guys. That happens, and you will be surprised that there are people that you had no idea could be your advocates. It's never obvious. It's never obvious. It's never gonna be your mom, your dad, your cousin. It's sometimes it's no one like that. It's no one like that. Someone you only tangentially know, but that for whatever reason takes a special interest. You got them at the right time. You got them in the right moment. You didn't know they had that natural networking ability, but they do. And you connect with them and they just want to help you. It's amazing. I promise you it's going to happen if you make enough of those calls.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's the 80-20 principle, right? 20% of your database is going to bring you 80% of your revenue, and the other 80% will bring you 20%. But the key thing is, you don't know the 20%. A lot of people try and shortcut it, and this is so true. Oh no, like, Peter, I've known him for years. He's going to give me them all. And it's like, probably not. Like, my experience is, like you said, it's usually not your friends and family. It's kind of weird. Like, there's that relationship there, and you never know. You never know what bad
another thing that can happen, guys. This is from the trenches. This is from the trenches. One of my agents, they had their mom would be their number one advocate, apparently. But I'm like, again, this lady would go out of her way to recommend her kid. Then I would think to myself, well, if the guy's mom is telling me, what's she going to say, right? She thinks this is the best kid ever. This is the best agent ever. Well, of course you're going to say that. It's your mom, right? So maybe that even had a little bit of a backwards, maybe backfired every more than once. But the point is, it might not be your mom, right? Your mom might do her best, God bless her, but maybe she's not going to be the best advocate for you, because literally would say anything to help you, right? But everyone, there's other people than that. So you got to make sure you don't know, like Andrew said, you don't know who it's going to be. So call everybody, right? Go long and go for it.
Again, this is free. It takes time. It takes effort. But if you do that, you'll get there. Like, this isn't rocket science. What we keep hearing over and over again for years now is like, putting in the work is 90% of getting the end result, right? So we're here, on this podcast, bringing you all these top agents who have done phenomenal things. And we're going to have people in the future who are just starting out. We've got a lot of very exciting things coming. But what you are going to see, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, everybody that is getting the result, irrespective of how experienced they are, is putting in the work, right? So with that being said, Gus, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing 4 top tips. We are definitely going to have you back again. So with that being said, where can people reach out to you if they want to get some more top tips off you?
A great way to find me is on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook. I love posting on there. I'm always adding value to my audience. So a great way to connect with me is, jump in and be a member of that audience, friend me on Facebook. Also, my website for my company, powerisa.com, is another great way to reach out and to find out what I'm up to. Either of those is great.
Perfect. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Elite Agent Secrets, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. Now, before you go, we're giving access to a private training we did where we revealed the top 3 niches to get listings today completely for free. So if you want access, you can go and download that training at eliteagentsecrets.com. We're regularly releasing new trainings, guides and cheat sheets, so make sure to head over to eliteagentsecrets.com and sign up so you don't miss out.